Hey entrepreneur, where's all the money going? Your bank account tells you have X amount in it, but you thought you were making so much more, right? Or you projected to make more, but now you're still paying out, taxes are coming, and you're praying to the gods, why didn't anyone tell me it was going to be like this? Oi, right? But don't worry, I've got you covered, and if you stick with me, I'll give you the recipe, an easy bake oven version for making the money you thought you were going to make and how to keep it. So hang in there, I've got you. Hi, I'm Marc from the Starter Cookie channel, and I hate taxes, but I hate jail time even more, so I pay them. So what's that got to do with any of this? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's get into what you came here for. Budgeting 101 for solo and entrepreneurs. I think I'm just gonna mash your names together, call you solo-entrepreneurs to, keep things moving. Okay, back to business. Let's break it down. Did you make a plan? How much did you put in there for the unknowns? Have you done this before? Are you allergic to budgets? Do you realistically estimate the time to get it done? And finally, did you budget what you will owe the government? Taxes, right? Did I mention how much I hate taxes? If I just blew your mind, apologies. I turned up the heat too fast, too soon, and I charge you. So let's take it back a step, and we're going to slow cook this one. Every business or project or launch has only 3 primary considerations when it comes to budgeting, and that is money out, money in, and money out again. Rinse, repeat. And that leaves you with your net profit. Sounds simple, right? But a lot of entrepreneurs underestimate how much money it takes to keep the money you made. You'll hear people say, I only have to make X amount of a product or service, and I'll make this big, beautiful bag of cash. And they start dreaming of how they'll spend it. We'll buy an RV and become digital nomads or something like that. Earth calling solo entrepreneur. I learned a long time ago as an entrepreneur that the money I make in the business is not mine. It belongs to the business. And if I'm careful, I can pay myself a nice chunk of change for all my efforts. But the business, in order to keep growing, needs capital. Let's break down how you can profit while at the same time growing your business. And then over time, the dreams do become reality. Okay, my top 10 lists of the successful ingredients to making a profitable business is: number 1, make a plan. Number 2, lay out the expenses. Number 3, project the number of units you need to sell or income you need to generate. Number 4, it's marketing. Number 5, our favorite, making the money, right? Number 6, allow for breakage. What's that mean? I'll tell you. Number 7, put taxes aside. 8, the fun part, pay yourself. Number 9, celebrate your wins. Treat yourself to something memorable. And then finally, number 10, reinvest back into the company. Now, to put this into practice, you need to reevaluate every 90 days. Set your goals for the first year, the second year, the 5th year, the 10th year. And guess what? Now, you're no longer in league with the devil. Why? Because you're paying your taxes, right? Remember that one. You've now built a really successful business. All right, so we're going to break this down just a little more, one at a time, but the short versions. Like I said, the easy bake oven style. All right, so we got number 1, make a plan. Lay out everything you need to make this happen. All the tools, the labor, the contractors, the timelines. Maybe use a tool like Mirrorboard to help you, or use Google Sheets. Anything to figure out every step of the way. Timelines are really important. If you're going to do something for the first time, there are plenty of resources to help you understand the process and all the steps along the way. Google it, use ChatGPT, or visit us over at Starter Cookie, and we'll give you all sorts of resources to get you going. Number 2, lay out the expenses and set a budget. This is an important one, but you can't do it until you've done the above. So if it's an online business, what programs do you need? How will you deliver it? How will you sell it? What are the ongoing costs? Are you using your own website or a third party? What will that cost? Do you need contractors to write copy, build stuff? And this is an important one. How long will you need to keep paying for something in order to make it sustainable? And then consider that you will have many of the same expenses as a brick and mortar business. If it's a brick and mortar or a service industry, you've got rent, electric, phone, heat, auto, maybe physical products to pay for, shipping costs, online store, payment gateways, terminals, insurance, etc. There are so many costs involved with any business that you really need to lay out every potential expense, including accountants and lawyers if you have to form an LLC or you haven't paid your taxes. All right, so number 3, project the number of units you need to sell or income you need to generate. Once you've laid out all the expenses, you're in a great position to see just how much work will be required to reach your goals. You don't need to go big or go home. You just need to feel comfortable in establishing a win, something to learn from that can bring your dreams down to earth and give them legs. Once you can see the bigger picture, meaning all the moving parts, it becomes easier to implement and not get lost in the unknowns. And you can also set realistic goals now. Number 4, this brings us to marketing. They say there are 3 pillars to business: the product, the marketing, and the financial. The financial basically is the bottom line. So if it is the bottom line, how much of it do you need? How much do you need to spend to market yourself, your service, or your product? Now, word of mouth and social may get you started if you're lucky, but often you need a little kickstarter to get you going, and that's a budget for marketing. Not a lot, just a little. So how do you do that? Reverse engineering is the simplest way. So if you factor in all of your expenditures, you probably need X amount of sales to make a profit, hopefully 2 to 3 times your investment. And then you just need to figure out how much you need to spend on marketing to hit that target. If you've never done it before, you need to take it slow. You need to have wins before you go all in. Learn your audience, perfect the ads, and build success before you spend heavy. Dream big, but start small. All right, number 5, the fun stuff, making the money. Here's the fun part: sell it and watch the money come in. But don't get discouraged on first attempts if the profits aren't huge. Keep the faith. And if your business model is based on launching a course or a product, testing it first as a beta model is usually the best way to go about it. That way you're not going all in on an unproven system. If it doesn't bring in all those rewards you thought you were going to achieve, then at least you didn't bet the farm on it and you can learn from it. You can then revise what needs fixing or call it a day. Not everyone is going to have a winner. Know when to cut your losses, or as they say, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You know what I mean. Number 6, allow for breakage. And this is a tough one because in every single business I've ever had, there's always been something that's happened, so you have to factor that in. For instance, people always want a refund. It's a fact of life. Not everything goes as planned, so always allow for having to give money back or take a loss on something. A safe rule is about 5%. Okay, we're back to this one. Speaking of the devil, did I tell you I hate taxes? Death and taxes, 2 things you're never going to get around, right? But why am I bringing this up? Because there's this really crazy thinking going around that says, always pay yourself before anyone else. Wrong. The very first person you pay is the tax collector. I see more businesses go out of business because they fail to pay their taxes. All their assets get frozen and they end up going out of business, bankrupt. Try pulling your life back together after that. I mean it. Always pay your taxes, state or provincial taxes right away, and put your federal taxes in a separate account or prepay it. First off, the extortion rates, and I mean interest rates, that they charge are ridiculous. You start out with a $200 penalty, and before you know it, it balloons up to $2,000 because it flew under the radar. You just can't win. So pay your taxes first. It's not your money anyway. It's a tax for the privilege of being allowed to conduct business on government land over their airwaves. I know it's not right, but it is reality. So pay your taxes before anything else, and get a good accountant to make sure that you get it right. And number 8, this is the one you've been waiting for. Pay yourself. That's right. Now you can pay yourself, but don't give yourself a great salary if you plan on building the company. There are very few millionaires and billionaires who didn't reinvest back into their companies before they decided to play it big, because everybody knows it takes money to make money. So you can't go spending it all, or else you'll be right back where you started from. After all, there's a saying that says, a fool and their money are easily parted. So be smart about it. And number 9, this is something that no one ever puts in a budget, but I think is super critical, is that you celebrate your wins and treat yourself to something memorable. Every win needs an occasion, but in proportion to the win, of course. Yes, that should be in the budget. It's a mental strategy that builds confidence and makes being a sole entrepreneur worth it. You know, a nice dinner, a night on the town, or a team celebration, something that rewards your effort in a generous but not overly lavish way. And number 10, the goalposts. Reinvest back into your company. So the bills are paid, right? Taxes are paid, or you put them aside at least. You're paid, everybody else is paid. Now, you get to decide how much you want to reinvest into your company. So everything you put back into the company needs to be thought out carefully. Think of what brought you your success. Go with that. Develop it, better it, keep improving it. If it's a solid business model, you'll get momentum. And don't go investing into a whole new scheme unless you've tested it. Always have proof of concept before going all in on another venture. Work with what got you success, perfect it, and build on it. Okay, that's the top 10 things to consider when building out your budget. It's the quick and easy solution. Once you get the hang of it, slice it and dice it and do anything you want with it, but build your own system. Get a hang of what it is to build out a budget and what works for you, of course. I know there was a lot here, so I hope you took notes, but if not, you can always head over to startercookie.com, where we share all of the content that expertly guides entrepreneurs just like you in our community-powered membership site. And as always, if you like this content, smash that subscribe button. No, that's not a. It's more like a smash, right? And then give us a thumbs up. So until you see me next time, pay your taxes, celebrate them wins, and build your empire. Then you can think about getting that Gucci or Rolex trophy. All right. Bye-bye.